to use AJAX requests. How do we use AJAX options? One simple example I showed you. How to deal with the get JSON. So with the JQuery. Actually, in real-time projects, we use with the server-side interactions, interacting with the data, handling communication with the server. So one example I will show you. So we are not learning any server-side technology, but use in real-world applications. So what I am going to show, actually you have to learn these type of things in full stack development. I will show you a simple integration. That means backend database. So AJAX with the APIs, right? We will see AJAX with API. So JQuery AJAX with API. Generally, I am showing you the process how we do in real time. In real time development, actually data comes from database. You can use databases like MySQL, like SQL Server, like Oracle or MongoDB, like databases. You need a server-side technology like JSP, like PHP, like ASP.NET, like Node.js, all these, like Python, right? And we need middleware like JSX is a middleware, or Express is a middleware. We need middleware. And client side we can use JavaScript, we can use JQuery, we can use Angular, so we can use React. Important things we need to know. So actually you have to learn databases, server-side technology, middlewares to handle the AJAX calls. Generally, what is the intention of AJAX is usually data comes from database. Actually, the data comes from a database. Generally, data comes from database. When data comes from the database, we need to interact with the data. So in order to interact with the data, we need a server-side technology. And the server-side technology will help access and use the data. We can access and use the data. You can use any database server-side. You can use any server-side technology. So UI technologies, that is the reason important for every person. Java, .NET, PHP. Everybody needs to know about UI technology, because presentation finally they have to do it client side only. So they need JavaScript, jQuery, Angular, React like concepts. What AJAX will do is AJAX reduces burden on a server by handling asynchronous callbacks by using asynchronous callbacks. That means what is advantage is only a portion of page is posted or rendered. So without reloading the complete page. So it improves the performance. performance of page. So page will be more interactive and responsive. So without reloading the complete page, we can add new details to the page. That is what actually the concept here. So for that, how we manage the request, how do we work and use? So one simple example I will show you. So that example is enough to understand everything, right? Let's see. Generally, for that, actually you need all this, but I am giving an overview so that you can even practice also, right? First, we need database. So what I am doing is, let's create database. I will show you MongoDB. I am not teaching you MongoDB, but I am giving you an overview to understand and create some database. So what I show you in the class is enough to practice, but database means very huge now. I think you all know. So you have to learn databases separately. So working with databases. Here I am showing you how we use that environment, because we don't need to worry about database server side. Those people specialized in them, they will take care about that, and they will give us the data. We need to just present the data, consume the data. But this example will allow us to understand complete end-to-end integration, how to use it. So MongoDB is a database. Actually, one of the advantages, I'm not teaching you MongoDB, giving an overview. So MongoDB, uh, MongoDB, MongoDB, so is a JavaScript based, is a JavaScript based. So it is open source. It is open source. Open source. It is a cross-platform. It is cross-platform. Platform. And very important here. So MongoDB supports several features. It supports several features. I'm not teaching you all the features and all. It becomes database class again. I'll just give you basic point. So MongoDB, server and client. How do we install MongoDB server and client? We will see that it's a database. So here MongoDB actually uses all JavaScript queries. So it is not SQL queries. SQL queries. It uses all JavaScript based queries. Right? MongoDB uses all JavaScript queries, not SQL queries. So we need to learn how to use this MongoDB and how do we work with MongoDB. So I will give you a simple overview of how to use it. How do we create and work with MongoDB? Let's see. So first point is you have to install MongoDB. Install MongoDB. So I will give you a download link. You can install MongoDB from there. So MongoDB official website is there. So let's go to that official website, MongoDB. Yeah. Here, direct MongoDB download is there. Yeah. This is the MongoDB. So you have to download the MongoDB here. I will give the direct link. Okay. So this is the link. So open this URL. So then download and install. You see install. You can see it is available for all platforms. You can see right side, it is available for all platforms. The current version is 4.2 stable, that is the stable version. And platform Windows or any platform you can choose. And for Windows, you select MSI. That means it will give you a setup file. You can download it. .msi will give a setup file. You have to download it. So this is the version. In my machine, I have some older work 4.0 or 4.1. You can download the 4.2 version. That's enough. So download .msi for Windows. So 4.2.8, that is a version. So once you install MongoDB, so after installing MongoDB, you have to start MongoDB server. You have to start MongoDB server. You install MongoDB. So once MongoDB installed, you have to start the server. How to start the server? Open services.msc. Services.msc. Okay, this is services. This is Windows services. This is Windows services. In this Windows services, you scroll down and MongoDB server. You will see MongoDB server, and you need to right click and start the server, because sometimes some other database servers may be running in your machine. That will stop MongoDB server. So you have to start MongoDB server. So it is already started. So that means open Windows services. So that means in run services.msc and right click on MongoDB server and select start. Okay, this is how you start the server. After starting the MongoDB server, now you need to start MongoDB client. You have to start MongoDB client. So client is the location from where we create database, tables, query, etc. Everything we do from the client location. So we need MongoDB client in order to interact with the server, right? So how to start MongoDB client? I will show you. Once the server is started for MongoDB, we have to start client. What you have to do is open command prompt. In the command prompt, change to program files, cd program files. In that cd MongoDB. In that cd server. In that cd 4.0. My version is 4.0. Your latest is 4.1. It doesn't matter for creating database and all. That's enough. So in that cd bin. This is the location you have to change. That means you have to change to all this location. Just for your convenience sake, I will keep all this what I have typed. Right. So that means come back to C drive, go to program files, and go to MongoDB in that server, in that 4.0 in that bin. Here we have to type mongo.exe. It will start the Mongo client. So this starts Mongo client terminal. It will start the Mongo client terminal. So we have to start that. So here what we have to do, type Mongo .exe. Exe extension not required. Just to understand that it is an exe file I am giving, because exe files can be executed without .exe extension. Okay, enter. Then it is executing. It is starting the Mongo server. So it is showing that connecting to Mongo server and connected. You see the terminal comes arrow. So the greater than symbol prompt, that is the terminal. That means now it is ready. You can start working with MongoDB and see connecting to MongoDB server. This is server address. This you have to know and remember, because this is what we need to connect with database. From server side technologies, we connect with the database by using this server. That is the server address, server IP address. MongoDB server IP address, right? Okay, it is common. Same will be there in your computers also, right? So here, this is the terminal. So that is the terminal. So once the terminal comes, that means the terminal comes, you can add your commands here. So your commands here, you can add your commands here, right? And I already told you, I am not teaching you MongoDB. This is not MongoDB class, but we will learn up to how to create database, how to create table, so that we can use this in our JQuery. That means we are implementing end-to-end application from front end to back end, everything. UI technology is not related to that action, means is not that. UI technology means only user interface. This is actually learned by full stack people. But still I am giving an overview to make you understand about Ajax, how Ajax is used in real time. So for that I am giving an overview. That's good to have knowledge about this, huh? Right. Now, once the command is ready, so that means how to use the commands. Some simple commands. Generally, database means they use SQL. That is select star from, select insert into, update table, like that. Here JavaScript based approach actually. MongoDB is a database which uses JavaScript. So commands are very simple. I will show you. So what are the commands actually? So important terms you have to know first. MongoDB terminology. Terminology. What is the terminology? Terminology is nothing but generally RDBMS and MongoDB. Generally in general RDBMS, so database. Here in MongoDB also database. That means generally you call database, MongoDB also database. And in RDBMS we have tables. Table. Here it is called collection. MongoDB collection means table. And here we have database have fields or rows. Row here is called document. Here we call document. And here we have fields. So here also we call fields. So we have joins. We have joins. So here we call embedded documents. Embedded documents. That is the terminology actually. So database. But in MongoDB, collection means table. And row means document. So document is row. That's the reason actually MongoDB is called as a document-based database. So JavaScript-based, document-oriented database. Document-oriented, non-RDBMS database actually. So that is what actually MongoDB is. Non-RDBMS and non-SQL database actually. So MongoDB, these terms are important: database, collection, document, field, embedded documents. Currently you need these three: database, collection means table, document means record, every row, right? Yeah. So what are the commands you have to know? So MongoDB MongoDB commands. What are the commands you have to know? Simple commands, I will tell you. First one is to view the list of database to view the list of databases in server. To view the list of database in server, you have to use show dbs command. Show dbs command. And to view the active database, so we have to use the command db. To view the current database, so we have to use the command db. You can see here, I will type here the command. I will type here show dbs. It shows the list of databases. You can see so many databases are there. So many databases are there. I have all these databases. So generally in your computer you will have by default only few. Like you will have admin database, you have config database, you have test database, you have local database. These are common. Others I created here according to our requirement. So these are databases actually. To see the list of databases, you have to use the command show dbs. To see which database is currently active, you have to use db. Currently test database is active. So we use the command db to see the current database. Okay. Now to create database, to create a new database or switch into existing database. To create a new database or switch into existing database, we have to use the command use database name. We have to use the command use database name. If I want to create a new database, then we have to use database name. So already some databases are there. Show dbs. And I want to create a new database here. Let's see how to create a new database. Then you can write here use database name. Suppose some Flipkart card db. That is the database name. So that means I am just writing here use Flipkart db and hit enter. So switch it to Flipkart db. That means database created. Remember, MongoDB uses JavaScript. That means case sensitive, capitalization matters. The commands should follow the capitalization correctly. So we are creating a database called Flipkart db. Now type show dbs. You can see Flipkart db is not there. Why? Because a database will not be shown in the list until or unless it has some tables. Currently database is empty. So here you need to note that database will be displayed in list only when it is having tables. Only when it is having tables. Here tables are called collection. Only when it is having a collection. So you cannot see the database in the list, but you can see now when I type db, current database is Flipkart db. That means you are current in the database. Okay. So database is ready. How to create database, I showed you. Now, next point is we need to create a new table in database. And here table is called collection. To create a new collection in database. To create a new collection, we have to use db dot create collection. Create collection and table name. Table name. You have to write the table name. That's how we write the command. So DB means current database. In the current database, we want to create a table. And what is the table name? Table name, you can give any table name. That's how we generally define the table. So let's create one table here. So let's create a table. So designing table. Deleting database, inserting table. See, don't ask a question like, sir, how to remove a record, how to remove database. For that, you need to learn complete MongoDB. I'm not going into all those points now, right? I'm just additionally giving you this knowledge to understand end-to-end integration. So don't ask about database related concepts now. That is not this session related to at all. So those are all can be done. If you know database, you can do everything. Related to database, you can do everything if you learned it perfectly, right? Here we are just learning basic. So only what is needed for us, we will do that here, right? So database, create collection. Okay, let's create a table now. How to create a table? DB dot create collection. I will give a table called some TBL products. TBL products is the table. Okay, that means how we do. So here we need to just use DB dot create collection. Create collection, table name, TBL products. Okay, and table is created. When I hit enter, it says okay. That means table created successfully. That's how generally table is created. That's how we create the table. So it shows that created. So already I've given you the command. Now after creating, you once check show DBS. It will show in the list. You can see show DBS. You can see Flipkart DB is there. Flipkart DB is there. That means a database is created and a table is created. To see the tables, we have to use show collections. Show collections. Show collections will show the table. That means you can see show collections. Show collections. So this is to view tables. What are the tables available? In order to view them, we have to use show collections. Okay. So currently we have a table called TBL products in the database. So DB, database is Flipkart DB. We just created a table. Now we need to insert records into table. That means insert records into table. Table is currently empty. So insert records into table. Simply db dot table name dot insert. We have to use insert command. And here insert as object, you have to define field and value. You know JavaScript object. If you want to insert many, then db dot tbl name dot insert. You can write array like collection, array of objects. This is one record. This is another record like this. At a time, you can add one record or you can add multiple records. For that, you have to use insert command. So how do we insert here? db dot tbl products dot insert. Insert one record I am inserting. So that is name. Data type, that is Samsung TV. Okay. All your JavaScript here. Price, some price. Okay. These details are enough. I'm just creating these details. Name and price. That is one record. Enter. One record is added. inserted. If I want to add multiple records, then tbl products dot insert. We have to use an array type, and in that array of objects, first object name is mobile, and price is some 12,000. So like this I have defined, and after that comma second record, second object, so name, some name I defined like some string type Nike casuals, okay, and colon. Oh, some problem is there here. Okay, so I'm creating the command. Okay, yeah, so db dot tbl products dot insert, and it is an array type. Okay, in that first object, so that is name, so that is Nike casuals, okay, comma price, some price, okay, and just numeric value I given, okay, and another object, that is name as some shirt, okay, and price and some price, okay. So, and I'm adding one more product, so name, so that is some mobile and some price, and price I'm adding that. Okay, now hit enter. Now all the records are inserted. I think it is out of the database. Actually, I will copy this command. It is terminated. Okay, mongo.exe. Okay, and here I will add that command. Enter. Now the records are added. Now you can see 3 records are inserted. So we have inserted 3 records, right? So one is, so table and the records are ready. Okay. Now first I added one record. After that I am adding multiple records. That means to add one record, we need to just define the data, right? We need to just define the data. Semicolon not required. That is a command prompt, right? So here I am using the command like this. So db dot tbl products dot insert, and here we can add one record, so name, so some TV, some price, and some price. Okay, that is one way. Another way is we can add in this way. That means multiple records. I will copy this. Yeah, you can add in this way. That is bulk, multiple records can be added. So this is for one and this is for many. You can add multiple records in this. This is the basic of how we can insert records into the table. So we have database, we have table, and we have some records. How to view the records? That means next point, view records. View actually records. Records means here we call documents in a table. So in a table, view records in a table, view records of a table, So how we can view the records of a table? So I want to see the records. Then actually what we have to do is simple. We have to use db dot table name dot, we have to use find function, db dot table name dot find, and dot pretty also we can use. What is that pretty? You can see that. So I want to view the records, db dot tbl products dot find. It will show the records like this. I want in a clear way. If I want in a clear way, that means currently use db. Use our db is Flipkart. Flipkart DB. That is our database. So here you have to insert the records. Here you have to insert the records. How you insert the records? So we have to use this command. By using this command, we inserted the records. So by using that command, we are inserting that records. Okay. After inserting the records, we have to use db.tblproducts.find and .pretty. Then it will show the records in this way. These are the records we are having. So, and very important is, by default, MongoDB generates a primary key ID as a primary key for every record. And you can observe that MongoDB maintains data in a JSON form, so it is easy for us to interact with it. And these are all the records present inside the table. Just you have to use the command pretty. That means you can simply use tblproducts.find.pretty. These are used to display the records. So pretty. So these are used to display the records. Actually, you can do filtering, sorting, searching, so much is there. Find command provides all the queries. So that is all MongoDB, right? So here our work is done. This is enough. That means we came here just to create one database and table so that we can interact with the database and table. So I created a database and a table, and I have some records in it. Now I want to use this in our UI. I want to present this in the UI. So database is ready. Database is ready. Now how we can present this in the UI? Means how we can present this in the UI. That means now generally, so we have a database ready. So we have database ready. That is, we are using MongoDB. Now we need to show, so client side, this is the client side. We need to present it in the client side. So, and for that we need a server side. So this is application server. In the application server, we need a server side technology. So we can use any server side technology like Node.js and all, JSP, PHP, different server side technologies are there. Like we have JSP, PHP, ASP.NET, Node.js like this. Node.js here. Now what we need to do is we have to handle communication. That means we need to send the data. Generally, how you can send the data, how we can manage the data actually. That means the data from this database, is actually communicated. That means is actually accessed by the server side technology. And this server side technology is going to provide the data to application, So when it is going to interact with the application, here we need another that is middleware. We call as middleware. This middleware will collect the data and send the data to the client. Now, important is there is nothing like which server side technology you have to use specific. It depends on completely client requirements. It depends on the project. It depends on his business. Every server side technology have its own problems, its own drawbacks. Depending on the requirement, so companies will choose the technologies. And which server side technology, you have to learn according to the requirements. That means the point is there is nothing like this is best server side technology. If anyone is best server side technology, people will not learn other technologies. Am I right? So this is the basic thing. First, you have to know there is nothing like which one is best server side technology. If one is best server side technology, then everyone have to learn only that one server side. It's not like that. Some technologies suit for some projects, some technology suits for some other projects. So that is not the concept at all. Here, you need one server side technology. Currently, I will show you how to use Node.js because already Node.js is installed for us. We installed already Node.js and we are using Node.js for NPM, Node Package Manager we are using. So the point is how we can use this server side technology to communicate with the database. We need one server side technology. Let's see. So database tables, everything ready now. So let's close or close. We don't need this anymore. So database is finished. Okay. Now we need a server side technology. And the server side technology, you don't need to install a new server side technology because already you have Node.js. So this is database. So this is database. This is database. That means this is the database layer. Database layer. In the database layer, we are using one database. That's it. Okay. Now we have an application layer. Now we have an application layer. Application layer. And here we need a server side technology. So Node.js. Node.js. And important is Node.js is a server side technology. And Node.js is similar to other server side technologies. Some advantages, some drawbacks, differences are there, right? So different features are there. And again, I am not teaching you any server side technology here. So what we are going to do is, you should know that Node.js is open source, is also open source. It is cross-platform, and very important, it is also JavaScript-based server-side technology, server-side scripting. It is also JavaScript-based server-side scripting. So that means JavaScript is used server-side here. It is JavaScript-based server-side scripting. So generally, what is the purpose of server-side technology? Server-side scripting is a technique where scripts are employed on server in order to generate a response, customized for every client request. So server side scripting is a technique where scripts are employed on server in order to generate a response customized for every client request. When client makes a request, the request will be processed and generated as a response. A response is generated according to the request. So here we need one server side technology which communicates with the database and gets the data from the database. So how to write the server side code here? How we need to write the server side code in Node.js to communicate with the database? Actually, we have to write logic to communicate with the database. For that, first step, install Node.js. So already you installed Node.js, nodejs.org. So download and install from MSI. Already we know that because already we installed in the beginning of our HTML, CSS from Bootstrap onwards, we started using this npm install Node.js, Node Package Manager we are using. So Node.js is already there in your computers. So after installing Node.js, now what you have to do is you have to write a server-side program to communicate with the database. So that means Node.js server-side programs are JavaScript programs with .js extension. So we have to write a server-side program. How to write the server-side programs? Let's see. Open your project here. So our project location. Okay, this is our project. And in this project, what we are doing is, in this project, we are handling a simple interaction. In this project, we are creating a folder. Okay, I'm creating a folder. In this folder, I will keep as a project. Project is the folder. Okay, I will keep the folder separate. Okay, project is the folder. Fine. In the project folder, I will add a new folder. And in the project folder, we have a new folder, and it is server side. That is the folder. In the project folder, we have another folder, that is client side. Okay. So I created a separate folder, project. In that we have client side and server side. Okay. Now what you have to do is, we have to write server side program to communicate with the database. That means generally Node.js program are JavaScript programs. And in order to communicate with MongoDB, Node.js communicating with MongoDB. Node.js have to communicate with MongoDB. In order to communicate with MongoDB, so what we have to do is, here we have to install library for MongoDB. So npm install MongoDB. You have to write this. You have to install library for MongoDB. So that means open terminal, control backtick. So you have a terminal. This is terminal. How to install Bootstrap, JQuery, everything we know. This is our terminal. Here what we have to do, npm install MongoDB. npm install MongoDB. Okay. So we are installing MongoDB. MongoDB related library. All the library related to MongoDB is installed. Okay, finish. Once MongoDB library is installed, now you can communicate with MongoDB. Okay, where that library will be copied in node modules. In node modules, it will copy that MongoDB library. So you have to just install MongoDB. So I have installed in our project location. This is the location where we have to install MongoDB. Okay. After installing MongoDB, next step, you have to create a new JavaScript file. That is Node.js file. JavaScript file. That means here we are creating a JavaScript file. In a server side folder, I am creating a JavaScript file. So I will give the name as some business layer, or business layer.js. that is the file. JavaScript files will have the extension .js. Now first step here, we need to test connection with the database. We need to test the connection with the database. So here we have to import library for MongoDB. Generally, to import library for MongoDB, we use require. Require which library? MongoDB library. In MongoDB library, we want Mongo client to connect with the database. So this library is loaded into memory. After loading that library into memory, we have to access it. Then we have to use a variable reference, Mongo client. Mongo client is equal to that loaded library. So require is a method which is used to load your library into memory. That loaded library from memory is accessible by using this reference variable. So it is ready. That means you have to import the library for MongoDB. Okay, after importing the library, so we have to write Mongo server URL. Mongo server URL is this. It is MongoDB : so 127.0.0.1 : 27017. That is its IP address and port number. Its protocol IP address and port number. How you get this? How you get this server URL? So while connecting with MongoDB, I showed you. Open command prompt, and here cd program files, cd MongoDB, cd server, cd 4.0, cd bin, and mongo.exe. It connects with Mongo server. You see, its server address is this, connecting to the MongoDB server address is this, MongoDB : 127.0.127.0.17. That is the IP address I given. Okay. Now we have to write a command, simple, that is Mongo client dot connect with Mongo server URL, Mongo server URL. Connect with that Mongo server URL. If connection is successful, a callback function will come. This function will have two messages. One is error message, another one is client. So this client can connect with database. Error message will show if there is any problem. Currently, I will just put a message, if not error. That means if there is no error, then console.log. I am displaying a message connected to MongoDB. Else, any problem occurred, I will display that message console.log error. You cannot use document.write alert and all because this is server-side JavaScript. You are using JavaScript server-side. So currently I am writing only a program to connect with database server and check whether connection is working fine or not. So if it is working fine, then we will learn how to read records and use them. Currently connecting. Okay, let's execute this now. That means we need to execute this program, run the program. I am writing a simple program. How to run JavaScript programs in Node.js? We can run JavaScript programs in Node.js from command prompt or terminal. You go to terminal here. And what is that? Open this file location in terminal. Right click and select open in terminal. When you select open in terminal, it will open in terminal. Here you have to run JavaScript programs by using Node business layer. .js, business layer.js. Node is used to compile the Node.js programs. To compile and run the Node.js programs, we have to use Node. And Node business layer.js and hit enter. When I hit enter, it will show a message. It is saying a message that connected to MongoDB. That means connection is working fine. So your logic is working fine. Now, once you connected, we will learn how to read the data from database and show. Then we can send this data to client side. JQuery will consume from client side and will use it. So we are connecting with server and we are accessing. Connected to MongoDB. If it is successful, it will display that message. Suppose if there is problem, suppose here I am using HTTP, wrong server address, and you have to terminate this once. Control C, it will terminate. Okay, after it is terminated, yeah. Now run that one more time. So node, you have to run it one more time. Node, business layer, node business layer, business layer dot js and hit enter. That means it is showing some error, and it is showing some error this time. So, and you can see that error. The error says that invalid connection string. Your connection string is not correct. If it is correct, it will display. Otherwise, it will show error. It will show error. For your understanding sake, you can run this in separate file explorer also. So that means you can open this in the file explorer. That means open in the file explorer, open in the command prompt. That means here, I will open here, server side folder. I will open in command prompt, CMD. It opens in command prompt. Here I can run that. So node business layer .js. You can see it shows an error. Error is nothing but it says that invalid connection string. If I corrected the connection string again, so I corrected here, connection string is MongoDB. Okay. And I will save that and compile it one more time. And it says connected. Now connected to MongoDB. So that means successfully we connected to MongoDB. What is the next step? We have to learn how to read the data from MongoDB. How to read the data from MongoDB and display the data, so that JQuery can use an AJAX call and interact with the data and present in the UI. This is the complete approach we have to do. That we will see in tomorrow's session. Up to this, you practice. So create a JavaScript file. What is that name? So business layer .js, and in that you have to write this code. Then what you have to do is open in terminal and compile. How to compile? Node business layer .js. It will show you whether it is successful or not. Once it is successful, how to read the records I will show you. Then we can present in by using JQuery with AJAX. That is the correct way of understanding AJAX, right? How to interact with server-side databases and get it and show. So tomorrow we will finish that example. Then you will get a clarity on how AJAX is used in real-time project. Okay. So tomorrow we'll continue with this.